Hello everyone, I'm going to play with Shrinky Dinks today. How long has it been since you've done that? I happen to have some here, so I'm making ornaments. Stay with me. I'll be right back. Hello everyone, this is Billie. Welcome to Billie Holman Creations. Now, I'm going to play with Shrinky Dinks today, and it had been such a long time since I've done that, and it's going to be so much fun because what I've done so far was really enjoyable. So let me show you what I have. Now, with the Shrinky Dink paper, it's a clear plastic, or you can get an opaque. So when using Shrinky Dinks, you can either color them with colored pencils, which I did a few already with the colored pencils, or you can use your permanent markers. And I found that I liked the Sharpies best. Now I'm going to use these wood rounds here that are shaped like little ornaments. These were from Temu. There was quite a few in a package, so I have some of these. I have puffy paint, and you know, I don't use puffy paint anymore, but just playing with this, I found a great way to use it. So we'll be using gold puffy paint for this project, and I have some gold metallic paint and some white pearl 3D paint or puffy paint. And we're also going to be using some Bond Crafters hard type UV resin. So let me get situated with the first step. Now the first thing I want to do today is get these discs prepared. I'm going to need 3 of them because I'm making actually 6 ornaments, but I'm going to be working on 3 today. So what I have done initially is I've just taken some white paint and I painted the round face of this disc or this ornament. Now I'm just going to take a little gold paint and do the top part of the bauble, and I'm just going to make this gold. So gold will be pretty much our accent color. This might take a couple of coats. I didn't shake it real well, but let's just get a coat of gold on the top here. That's where we'll put our hanger. Get it close to the white and get the top. Now, I could have done this in a resin round and it would have worked out fine. Maybe a few different techniques, but that was an afterthought once I got started on these. So I've got the top painted gold, and I'm just going to do the back. Let me get a bigger brush. And of course my water is hidden. Put a little soap in my water, and I'm just going to get a bigger brush here, and we're just going to paint the entire back. Now this is just going to be the base because we're going to add more to this. I just wanted to get this dried before we started on the Shrinky Dinks. I was going through some of my smaller items and I came across some pieces that I had shrunk before, and I thought, oh my gosh, I did these many years ago. Do I have any more paper left? And lo and behold, sure did. So I'm just going to get this all colored in, and I can do the rest of this off a camera. Okay, because I have one here that is done. Okay, I've got my gold and my white. The back is gold, and I'm going to work on the back first. So I came across different puffy paints here. One is a scribble brand, one is a puffy paste brand. I've got this tulip brand, This one doesn't, it's got a shimmer to it, but this has gold flecks in it. So I want to use, so does that one, but let's use this one. And I don't know how much is in here, I can't tell, but let's just get some out, because we're not going to do dollops. I'm just going to pounce. Get some of that. There we go. So I'm going to squeeze some out. Here's my little. I use lids for paint. Put that back on there. Might need a little more in a second. And I did get some pouncy brushes here from Amazon, a big old box full. And we're just going to go over. Doesn't look gold here, but it says gold. We're just going to pounce the entire back of this with the gold puffy paint. And it's going to give us a texture, like a snowy texture. So something like this. I'm just going to pounce, 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 pounce. And I'm also going to do the top, this gold section here. So let's just get some more of this paint out. So we'll need more. And I can just, let's just squirt a piece. I'm going to take this cap out. Just get some right here. So I thought, what a great way to use this up. We'll just get that pounced on there. Come right to the edges. And you can do 2 coats of this if you don't think it's thick enough. Let's just see what it looks like once it's dried. It's just a little, making little peaks and bumps, and I don't know if you can see the texture there. That's what we're doing. I need a little more right here. A little more than I needed, so let's just pounce it all around. To the edge. Oh, I can see the glitter now. That's what we want. We want to see some glitter. Okay, and I'm going to let that dry. I had these little cups to set that on to dry, and I'll do the top shortly. This one here needs done. Whoops, I just daubed it in the gold paint. Heavens to Murgatroyd. Is that what the saying was? Let's get rid of that gold. What was I thinking? I'm going to pounce this one too. That should do it. Said I didn't know of any other way to use this up, so I'm going to do it this way. It has a nice effect. Get it nice and even. Over there. Got too much. Scoop some of that off. And we'll let that dry. So I've got the gold on the back. And I went ahead and I used the white pearl puffy paint, and I did the top over the white paint. So that looks really nice. That's the effect I want, like a snowball. So now while these are drying, I can get to the Shrinky Dinks. Now I had another cup. I'm going to set this aside. Let that gold dry. Put my lid back in here. Got plenty left. Oh, I might go on a ornament craze here using puffy paint. So this was the white. I had two options. That doesn't have a sticker. But this was a pearl colored. That's what I did with the white. So let's get back to the Shrinky Dink part. Let me get that sponge in a little water. Put this aside, and I'll show you what we have. Now you could get the full sheets of puffy, or the full sheets. I happen to have a scrap piece here that's going to work on my pattern. So the first thing you want to do with your Shrinky Dink paper, if you call it paper, or your Shrinky Dink plastic, is sand it up. Sand it up and rough it up. So I just have this sanding block here. It's been well used, but I'm just going to rough this up because you want your pencils or your, pardon me, markers to stay on there, and you just rough it up. This is a scrap piece and it's going to work perfect. So I'm going to go one way. I need a new block. And the other way. Let's try the sides. I use these blocks a lot. You can get a whole box off of Amazon that are pretty inexpensive. So we're just going to scratch, 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 scratch. And I don't know which is the right side of this plastic or the wrong size, but this is going to work perfectly for the pattern I'm going to use. Let's go around a little bit too. Just like that. Pardon my messy puppy pad. So there we go. Now what I did is I got online and I printed off a character because this is one of my grandson's favorite character. Now I reduced this photo, and this is free clip art. So I reduced this and printed it at 75% rather than the whole sheet because I needed it to fit on the round. So what we're going to do next, I've got glitter all over this. Well, that'll add to it. Is I'm just going to tape. Do I have exactly enough for his feet? Oh, let's turn it this way. Oh, gosh, Billy, you did it backwards, didn't you? No, there we go. That'll fit. That will fit. And I'm sure this character looks familiar to you. I might have to go at an angle to get that all in there. But I won't say, because of infringement's sake, who this is, because I actually don't remember who this is, but I have seen the movie. And I'm just going to tape my Shrinky Dink paper down onto this printout. Now what's really fun for me is just tracing. I'm just going to trace, and I've got, this is my fine Sharpie, and I do have, or this is the extra fine, and then there's the fine, but I'm going to just trace every bit. I bought a new pen. Apparently that's not the new one. I ran out of these. Okay, so I'm just going to trace. I'll try to make a big line where the bigger line goes. And then do the fine lines. We're just going to trace him. Okay. And he doesn't have much color on him. All he has is a little pink in the mouth and a bit of his eyes, but the brown inside, there's a brown inside of his ears, so I will make sure to color that in the right color. So this is going to take a bit, but if you take your time, it's quite relaxing. You don't have to be perfect. He's got a lot of lines on him. And I'm just going to continue with the whole piece. So I went ahead and I traced and colored another character. And this is who I have. Now I used Sharpies. And even though it looks messy, when this shrinks, it's going to condense all these colors together. And I tried to get as close to the character as I could as far as colors go. So now all I need to do is cut this out. So let me go in here. I'll start here. And I'm just going to cut this character out. And I'm going to go around the outline as close as I can, or right on it. And we're just going to cut him out. Sometimes it'll split around a corner, I noticed. But I did that to one other one and it split. But it didn't make a difference too much, so just try to get as close as I can and then clean it up with the rest of the cuts. I think this is called fussy cutting. And you go right up to the lines. So let me go ahead and get him cut out. Well, here we are. I have both pieces colored and cut out. Now the zebra, I thought about going ahead and coloring the white on him, but I think what I'm going to do is just put white paint on the back after he shrinks. We're going to do it that way. That'll save a lot of problem. So let's see how tall these are right now. The lion is about 8.5 inches. Zebra is almost the same. So I have the oven heated up to 250, and it says 3 to 5 minutes to bake. Keep an eye on them. I don't have a glass on my window, so I won't be able to show you how they shrink. And you can shrink these with your heat gun, but since these are so large, I'm going to go ahead and pop them on the oven, in the oven. Here's a Teflon sheet. Instructions say put the painted side down. And we're going to go pop these in the oven and see what they look like when we get back. Well, would you look at this? This little lion that was 8.5 inches is now 3 inches. So I have good news. He turned out really good. Bad news. My gosh, I spent most of yesterday afternoon coloring the zebra, and that's what happened. Nothing. I checked on this and it was curled up in a ball. I had to try to uncurl it. It would not shrink. I am so disappointed. But needless to say, I will remake him off video. But I do have another little critter, and I have the penguins and the lion. So we're going to continue with them, but I'm really disappointed in that zebra because I used a scrap piece of Shrinky Dink. It wasn't like a sheet of acetate that I possibly thought I was coloring on, but it wasn't that. I know it was Shrinky Dink, so I don't know what happened. Sometimes you just get discouraged when things go crazy. Crazy wrong, that is. But let's keep going. All right, so I do have the 3 white baubles. And before I get the characters on there, I want to get some more of my puffy paint. Just the gold. And which one did I use? I think it was this one. I'm just going to daub a little bit of this gold around the edges to make it look not so bland on the outside. So let's just pop this top off of here again. Oop. That just went right up my nose. I have it in my nostril. Well, we're starting off good. It's on my face and in my nostril. I just flung it. Jeez, Billie. That was for you, Martha. Let me wipe my face off. Ah, goodness sakes. All right. Let's hope today goes better. But I did enjoy coloring. Just get some of this gold off of here. On here, get my little dauber brush. It's still pretty moist. It's not too crispy. And I just want to go around the edges. The little gold. Since I don't have gold paint under that, we might be a little generous. Just going maybe 3/4 of an inch around the edge here. On the top too. Boy, I might use up all of this. I did use up all the white one of the white ones. So I might have to just take my knife and cut the top of this little bottle and get the rest out. So I'll be doing this for just a minute and I'm going to let this dry. Okay, I'm back with my little characters. The gold around the edges has dried, and I wanted to show you that I did paint, or excuse me, I did put a coat of UV resin on the backs. And I did write to my grandsons with a permanent marker, and it did smudge a little bit. So I wouldn't recommend permanent markers under UV resin. So what I want to do first is just tack these little guys down with a little UV and give it a quick bit with the lamp. I tried glue on a couple of the others I've already done, and it seemed to have peeled the paint or the colorant off of these Shrinky Dink pieces, and I didn't want that to happen again. So I'm just going to tack a little UV down, or I could just set it all on UV, but I was afraid it wouldn't go all the way through. So let's just try this technique. Trial and error, I say. All right, now if I can get this without getting it on my fingers, you should use gloves with UV resin. I tend to not do that. I don't seem to have an allergic reaction to the UV resin, but I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't advise it. Be sure to wear some kind of glove. And I think I could put that down a little bit. Now I'm smearing it where it's probably not hitting where I want it. Might have to slide some more down a little bit. Get that centered. Let's just put a little under here. Oh, yeah. Trial and error, Billie. Take the lid off. Let's just push a little bit of that down and see if we can't tack it on there. We're going to cover it with UV anyway, but let's just get it rather stuck on. All right, clean that good. So set the little lion do aside, and I'm just going to completely cover this ornament. And I'm using my Bond Crafters. Now the first three I did was a real experiment. I did use a lot of UV on those, so I wasn't sure. And it'd never fail. I'd get one layer on and then find a fisheye. Then put another layer on. gold is not showing up as I would have liked it to. Probably should have put gold paint under that, but I'm going to get in around section first, and we're just going to be sure everything is covered. Smooth it around, and I'm using my two-sided lamp, but just one side of it. Oh, it looks like some paint came off on there. Look at that. From the black. Let's just get that all in there. Sure that's gonna join up with the Shrinky Dink. Spread it to the edges. I don't want to go over. I could have taped the back, but I did not. I'm counting on my skills. Counting on my skills to prevent some kind of flowing over. And now nothing's running over the edges, so I think I'm safe there. Just make sure it's in place. I'm going to go right over top with these little fellas and spread that around too. Be generous, and I'll zap it a couple of times. And see, that'll adhere it all together. Sure to get every aspect of this covered in all the grooves. Bring that down over top. That one fin is still sticking up. I see. Missed a spot there. So discouraging when you get to going and have it all done and then find a place you've missed, or a so-called fisheye in your resin. But I think I could add just a little more here. And let me look around. Looks like it's all covered. They are just too cute, these little characters here. I'm double checking again. I could use some more in there. Tuck that under. Let's go right in that area, and I'm going to call it good. Right in here. Just a little bit. You can keep doming this if you'd like to. I'm not going to worry about it. Whoops. Knock things around. Now I've got my torch here. This works out well. I did get this off Amazon. Be sure not to burn your tissue underneath or your puppy pad. And I'm thinking that's good, so I'm going to take my lamp and just go over top of this for 5 minutes, but I keep thinking I need to touch up here, there. Probably don't. It's probably fine. Get to fiddling. All right, here we go. 5 minutes. This is my Let's resin. I don't want to go all the way down with that because it'll touch it. I don't want it to touch it. Here we go, and I'll be right back. There we go. I can use another coat of the resin because I see a few little open spots there. But there you have it. I'm going to go ahead and I will finish the lion. Can you see him? And I will do the zebra. And I'll show you what I did for the first little grandson. Okay, I did this character. He might look familiar to you, but I have the 3 sets. And you see under this purple here where it's faded, that's where the glue took the color off of these. Ooh, I see a fisheye right there. Don't let me see that, or I'll want to fix it. But aren't these cute? Just add some ribbon to the top, and you've got some really nice special ornaments for yourself, your friends, your grandkids, your kids. And they are personalized in the back. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Try this. It's a little time consuming, but only if you mess up like I did a time or two. But add some ribbon and they're ready to go. So I'll say thank you, everyone. Look for the after shots. Hopefully I'll have the zebra in there. Please hit that like and subscribe. And if there's a hype button, please hit that one too. That'll help my channel get out there just a little further. So take good care, everyone. Happy holidays. I'll say bye for now. Big hugs. Bye.